Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023. India is currently taking on Sri Lanka. The match is almost over. The current score says 55 for a loss of 9 wickets. One of the lowest scores that Sri Lanka has scored today in ODI format at the Cricket World Cup. We will get you and decode today's match. So let's get quickly started. So India won by 302 runs at the ICC Cricket World Cup. I think one of the best score that India has put over here at the ICC World Cup, the score that they were required to chase, and now the current result that says it all. India completely demolished Sri Lanka. Let's quickly take a look. We will also take a look at how it happened as India demolished Sri Lanka at the iconic Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai to qualify for the semi-final, and that too with a dominating performance, ensuring a scoreline of 7-0 at the group stage edition. India's lethal bowling attack led from the front to restrict Team Sri Lanka. Now, this is one of the lowest scores that Sri Lanka made at Cricket World Cup in ODI format, which is 55. Sri Lanka completely failed to chase a target of 358 runs at a pitch where making runs was one of the easy tasks. Moreover, now they could not even go beyond the 55 plus mark. They stopped at 55. If we talk about Team India, Shubman Gill top scored with 92 runs while Virat Kohli missed his 49th ODI ton after he was dismissed at 88. Had Virat Kohli slammed 100 today, he would have equaled Sachin Tendulkar's record of 49 centuries in one-day internationals. Nonetheless, Virat Kohli did reach 1,000 run milestone in ODI format in a calendar year for 8th time now. On the other hand, Mohammad Siraj also silenced all the critiques, taking 3 wickets while Shami took 5. Together, a stupendous bowling performance led Team India with the victorious mogul, and they completely dominated the game at the Wankhede Stadium. India is now all set to face South Africa on the 5th of November 2023. And with this, Virat Kohli also overtook Sachin Tendulkar to cross 1,000 ODI runs in a calendar year on most number of occasions, which is 8 now. Virat Kohli achieved the feat during the 11th over of the 2023 ODI World Cup group stage encounter against Sri Lanka at the iconic Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. In 2023, he now is the 4th batter to score 1.
Absolutely. And we saw that, Deepika, in the Asia Cup as well. In the Asia Cup final, we saw, they were dismissed for hardly anything. And once again, it's the same thing happening with Sri Lanka. I think the problem is, they're having the problems against someone like Mohammad Siraj. He bowls so well. The credit, I think, the Indian bowlers, the sea bowlers, picking up those early wickets, they're bowling the right length. Because on this surface in Wankhede, once you pick up the right length and line, and, under lights, I was mentioning this earlier as well in our pre-show, that under lights, the ball will be doing up it. And that's exactly what the Steamers did. A terrific performance. I think Indian team is looking very different at the moment. Where Sri Lanka, I think the top order, once they crumbled, once they lost those early wickets, it was always going to be difficult for Sri Lanka. And it was a mammoth score, and that's the reason I thought, why did Sri Lanka opt to bowl first in these conditions? Because we saw with South Africa, once you're batting first, you can pile up those big scores. Even if Sri Lanka got around, 250, they could have really, put some pressure. But, just when India got those 350 plus runs, it was always going to be, a different proposition for Sri Lanka. But I think the full credit to the Indian bowlers, the batting, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, that's one thing. Because once Kusal Mendes gets out, it's always going to be tough for them. And I think Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, just the way they are bowled, they've been brilliant in today's game.
Also, there were high expectations from Matthews over there, but since so many wickets were going on at such a fast pace, Matthews couldn't do much. A lot of pressure came on in, and to which he really succumbed.
Very rightly said, Deepika, because there's some enormous pressure. Once you lose the stop out of wickets, as a batsman, you just stranded there. And, the pressure is different. Once you've just lost 1 or 2 wickets and chasing over 350 runs, you need a partnership going. And Sri Lanka, throughout the innings, they hardly had any big partnerships for them. That was a big worry for them. So I think, a lot of credit to the Indian bowlers. You mentioned, Angelo Matthews got some experience behind him. Kusal Mendes has been a terrific touch throughout this World Cup. But the batting really was below par, below par, and against this quality Indian bowling, which is looking unstoppable at the moment. Just the way they are bowling, taking those catches as well. I think this Indian team is looking really solid.
And also, when we talk about Team Sri Lanka, we were talking in the pre-match preview also, sir, that how Silverstone spoke about his fear. And he said, we were talking in the pre-match preview also, sir, that how Silverstone spoke about his fear. And he said that the kind of bowling attack India has got at this cricket edition, every team would like to have that similar sort of bowling attack. And this is not an overnight development that we are seeing in Team India. We saw how the coach of Team India, he kept changing all the combinations in various tournaments, and in the end we came to this combination. We also talk about when we talk about Rohit Sharma's captaincy. So altogether a 360-degree effort from Team India straight from the beginning yielded to such sort of results that we are witnessing today.
Yeah, absolutely, Deepika. And I think you rightly mentioned, the coach, has done a lot of work around it. Not to forget someone like Paras Mamre as well, because, he's been the bowling coach, and this team looks different. India always had that batting lineup. India always had those terrific batters, some great batsmen India produced. But this World Cup, I think, big thing for India is the bowling resources you have. After day, you look really different, and that's the big thing as far as India is concerned. Even someone like Bumrah, coming back from injury, just the way he's bowling, the rhythm, the rhythm is so very important for any bowler, and they're looking so good. And from both the ends, they are creating that pressure. Once sometimes what happens, Deepika, is from one end a bowler is bowling well, from the other you're making runs, so the pressure isn't created. But this bowling attack, if you see from both the ends, they are really chipping in, picking those wickets, stemming the flow of runs, not giving easy runs to the opposition. And that's the reason, picking up regular wickets as well. And so even when Kuldeep comes in, the opposition lost 2 or 3 wickets. So it becomes much easier for the spinners. So I think, full credit to the Indian team. And I think they've worked really hard. And, over a period of time, this is the kind of bench strength this team has, is looking really good, very, very, very good. And I think, India now are definitely in the semi-finals. It's just a matter of 2 good games, the semis and the final. And this cup will be ours.
And as the tagline says, it's just take one day only to make it happen. And India is trying its best in every game that they are playing. Rohit Sharma has been consistently saying that we do not have to take any of the teams lightly. And they also have this in their mind that Sri Lanka also comes with experience. They've got experience unit with themselves. But today, Silverstone, as he said, that their bowling attack is something which they are really, worried about. And this came out to be really, really true, because we remember that in the ODIs, if we talk about the lowest score, Zimbabwe has got that scored 35 back in the year 2004 against Sri Lanka. But this time at the World Cup in today's ODI, 55, one of the lowest.
Yeah, absolutely, Deepika. I think there seems to be a mental block, when the Sri Lanka batters are facing the Indian bowlers. Sometimes, that thing was happening in the Asia Cup final. We saw that in Sri Lanka, with the way Sri Lanka were dismissed for very cheaply, around 50. I think there's a mental block as well. And it's not easy for the opposition side because, once you lose this couple of wickets early, it's always difficult for them. And I think here the role of the opening batters, Deepika, is very, very important. They need that partnership going up the order. They need to see that spell through from Siraj and Bumrah, because Siraj opened the bowling today. Shami came in after that as the first change bowler. So if you lose those early wickets, then, the opposition, the quality of bowling lineup, as you mentioned, India has, is going to be really tough for Sri Lanka. And that's exactly what transpired today as well. And under lights always in Wankhede, because there is a breeze blowing across the ground. I've covered so many games out here. So once the breeze is blowing under lights, there is that movement as well for the seam bowlers. And that's exactly what, happened as well. Siraj, the length that he was bowling, Bumrah as well. Then Shami came in, absolutely brilliant. And Shami, is looking really a class apart. This is the way he's bowling, the line, length, so immaculate. I think this trial looks to be really good. It's going to be a headache for the Indian captain when Hardik Pandya comes back, because whom do you drop? It's going to be really difficult, because all the 3 seamers are looking in terrific touch.
And not to forget about Mohammad Siraj also. We will talk about Siraj, but first of all, let's quickly get our viewers a look at the scorecard, how it happened, what are the brilliant numbers we are talking about. So Shubman Gill scored 92, Virat Kohli stopped at 88. We were expecting 100 from him, but the performance speaks it all. Shreyas Iyer made 82 for Team Sri Lanka. Madhushanka took 5 for 80. He was at 5 for 80, and Shamira at 1 for 71. So this is how the current scorecard look like. India beat Sri Lanka by 302 runs. Going back to Mr. Mehra, we talk about Siraj also because he was being criticized a lot. Not everyone was having their confidence in Mohammad Siraj, but today's performance with so many wickets that he took and restricting the game, virtually it got ended at 37 only. They just, they stretched the game to 55 and posted a 50+ score. However, lost by 302 runs, but Siraj was spectacular today.
Absolutely, you rightly mentioned, because a few matches, Deepika, he was just a bit expensive, and today I think he was spot on just the way he's bowled, because that also shows the character of the bowler. Sometimes you concede a few runs. We saw that with Siraj. Probably a few games he was a touch expensive, but how you come back is so very important. And I think Siraj, just the way he's bowling, because we all know he's got the talent behind him. And as far as Sri Lanka were concerned, they had no answers to someone like Mohammad Siraj. 3 for 16 for him. Shami taking 5 wickets, Bumrah as well chipping in. So you see the bowling performance for India. All the seamers, they were really terrific. Sri Lanka, 3 batsmen getting into double figures. That was going to be enough for them. But Siraj, the best thing is the movement that he gets. He's got pace behind him. But along with the pace, Deepika,
right,
just the movement that he gets, that's a big advantage for him. And
right.
I think today as well, he was terrific.
Now the next big challenge is facing Team South Africa. I think this is the last challenge, the last hurdle that India really need to cross at the group stage. The semi-finals are altogether a different deal. But when we talk about it, we had an exclusive conversation with Jonty Rhodes also, where he spoke about South Africa. So the former South Africa cricketing legend Jonty Rhodes was invited as a special guest at the national games, and he spoke his heart out with DD India correspondent Suchitra. Let's quickly take a listen to Jonty Rhodes as well on what he said about India versus South Africa clash, which is the next hurdle.
How do you find it? How do you like it in Goa, and how has your kids adjusted to being in Goa?
Well, we were, as parents, not too sure how they would adjust. Obviously, it's important for us. There's lots of work for my wife, who's an architect, and myself here in Goa. But it was so important that the children were happy. And from day one at school, they came back and said, best day ever. So we were very grateful.
So what is your experience? How do you find the facilities here in Goa?
The platform is such an important step up in their career. So to have something like the national games where young men and women across India in different sporting disciplines can aspire to represent their country. Because let's face it, India is not just about cricket anymore. We've seen that they have great athletes in many disciplines. So it gives me goosebumps. I mean, I am so excited to be a part of this, because I think that the path ahead, there's been some hard work done by administrators and even some international athletes who didn't get much support initially. To see the sports of different codes growing across India, amazing.
How do you see South Africa's chances of winning this World Cup?
Well, the less said about South Africa winning the World Cup, the better. Hopefully they can sneak into the final, but it would be amazing to see India v South Africa in the final. It's, I think they've played some good cricket. We've had one bad game already. India have played 6 out of 6, been superb. South Africa's had one bad game against Netherlands, so hopefully it's done, that one bad performance.
This Sunday, they are going to play at the Eden Gardens. So what outcome you expect from that match?
Well, I'm a bit worried about Rohit Sharma, because he's also got a special. He's got many runs but that's a T20 level. So hopefully we can, as South African team, we can throw in something special. Eden Gardens is, when I was playing cricket, before the World Cup was hosted in 2011 in India, it was a stadium packed with people, maybe 1 lakh people coming to watch the game.
How do you look at the performance of the defending champions, England? They have been truly disappointing.
And I think England, as defending champions, have come here and they didn't quite adopt or take on that pressure very well because they seem to be a little bit unsure of themselves. And up until now, they have played such brave cricket. So it's been interesting to see that they haven't been able to do that in this World Cup.
Pick your two finalists, and who do you think is going to win this edition?
The way that India have played all-round good cricket, you know, I'm looking forward to being the final, India v South Africa, and I'm not going to make a prediction. We'll see that when it happens.
Everybody is expecting that win to take place. Now we have Taposh Bhattacharya joining us from outside the Wankhede Stadium, where the atmosphere is really electrifying. Taposh, how the fans are celebrating this stupendous victory against Sri Lanka.
Deepika, you're bang on there. The fans are celebrating, in a different manner altogether. They are super excited. I have with me Mr. Rajesh, who's a superstar, TV superstar, sir. Sir, you saw the match? Excitement?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, by the end of the match, I realized that instead of Indian team, if we also would have bowled, Sri Lanka nahi jeet pati thi.
What about you? You like the match?
Amazing match. At least I won't get late for school tomorrow.
What about you?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
You enjoyed? Sir, what about you guys?
It was amazing. It was amazing match. It was worth watching it. Absolutely.
All right. So there are a lot of people out here. You can see Rajesh sir is there. He saw the match from close quarter. Superstar himself in his own right. And sir, you also were there inside. What was the whole mood inside?
Was amazing, mind-blowing. I've only come for 2 days from Australia to see this game. I thought it would have been wonderful, it would have lasted long. But nonetheless, 5 wickets for Shami, amazing. Century for Kohli would have been perfect.
Century for Kohli would have been perfect. Sir, probably you thought Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, and probably KL Rahul, they could have scored a century, isn't it?
Yeah, but in fact, it was, I mean, absolutely there on the card. It felt that they are going to achieve it. But ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं है. वो पुराने में से 2-4-10 नंबर लेकर के इसका नंबर.
Shami's performance was good, isn't it?
Superb. Everyone, in fact, all the bowlers, Siraj and Shami, Bumrah, oh, super.
So you see that this is an all-round team performance. The batters did their job, the fielders did their job, and the cherry on top was the way Bumrah and Siraj started the whole slide for Sri Lanka. And then Mohammad Shami raved his magic. The way he bowled, the cutters, the swingers were absolutely mind-boggling. So they really played a part, and India actually, this is a huge win. Getting Sri Lanka out for 55 is no mean task. Deepika.
And also behind you, more fans are joining you, Taposh, who are just trying to grab a screen and put their heart out. If you can talk to those fans also, they are just right behind you and trying to celebrate this. If you can just quickly get a quick chat with them.
Right, so I've got with me some young fans also. Sir, you were inside?
Yes, I was.
So how was the match? Tell us your experience.
It was really good. India bowled really well. I didn't get to see India's batting though. I got to see the last 10 overs.
So you saw the match where Mohammad Shami was bowling those cutters?
Even Siraj.
Even Siraj?
And Bumrah.
So you loved it?
Yeah, I loved it.
So you see there are a lot of young kids out here. You liked it?
I loved it like anything. Best match I've seen.
Best match you have seen. What about you, sir?
This was the best match. India played very well, and Mohammad Shami was awesome. We love
Mohammad Shami was also there, absolutely.
Yes, good sir.
You enjoyed the match? Yes. So you see the Mohammad Shami was amazing. A lot of people are saying, what about you, sir?
Amazing. The way Indian bowlers are bowling and the way we are batting, hats off. We can't do anything wrong. Mohammad Shami, exceptional. Hats off to the Indian team. We keep on criticizing them when they don't play well. But credit should be given to them when we play well.
Right. What about you, sir?
And the way Kohli was cheering for his teammates and all the people who are watching in the stadium, it was just amazing.
It's one of a kind match, and we really liked it, and it was electrifying.
Nobody should have seen this type of match before, because 50, it was chasing 50s.
Absolutely. So you see that, sorry?
India's batting.
India's batting.
I just want to say, Virat Kohli's century is coming on his birthday. It's coming in Kolkata.
Virat Kohli's century is coming on his birthday. The people are absolutely excited. They are absolutely, yes.
It was nothing but an abomination.
Absolutely. The way they have decimated the Sri Lankan side, it's something that Sri Lankan side also need to take a close look at the way the team has been doing in this particular World Cup. Only 2 wins out of the 7 matches they have played so far. For India, nothing can go wrong. They have been on a roller coaster ride, winning 7 out of 7, and this is one of the biggest win in their campaign so far. This is something that a lot of people will be now hoping. Now they will be really talking about the fact that India's batters are on song. You know, there was a talk that probably Shreyas Iyer was not getting in the form. Today he got in the form, and the way he was scoring those runs, especially the boundary that he was hitting, the clean hit over the fence, and mind you, this this Wankhede Stadium is not a small ground. It's quite a big ground, and clearing the field, clearing the boundary with ease, probably is going to give him a lot of confidence, especially going further in the match. One thing is for sure, India has made the cut for the semi-final. Now it will be interesting to see who they face in the semi-final. But
also, Taposh, when we talk about the bowler's performance, not to forget Mohammad Siraj's performance over here, Taposh, because he was earlier being criticized. His selection was under contentions. But today, what he did on the field, and as Mr. Mehra rightly said, that now the captain would really find it difficult once Pandya is back, that whom to take and whom to drop, Taposh.
So that was the whole idea. You know, you have a problem of plenty for the Indian team. Mohammad Shiraz 3-wicket haul is a huge point. I'm just, when the Bumrah started with the first over, they got the wicket, then Shiraz, and he learned from his mistake. In the earlier matches, he was bowling slightly short of length. Here in this particular match, he bowled fuller length, and he kept the batsman guessing all the time, and that is where he got the, obviously under light the ball was moving slightly, and he made the ball talk just when it was working on. Remember Asia Cup final, he was again there, he was again a main person who orchestrated the Sri Lanka's defeat, and he was absolutely amazing in that match also. Here also Bumrah and Shiraz started the slide, and then Mohammad Shami. Again, you spoke about Mohammad Shiraz and people criticizing. I think nobody probably criticized Mohammad Shami more. He didn't make it to the playing 11. His name was omitted. A lot of people spoke about the fact that where will he get the chance to play. And this time with Hardik Pandya not in the team, Shardul Thakur coming in, there was a talk that whether he can make the cut. He showed today again. This is his second 5-wicket haul in 3 matches. So right now he has 14 wickets in 3 matches. How cool is that? I mean, the kind of strike rate he has, this kind of wicket taking ability he has, he is making the major difference in this particular Indian lineup.
And also, as the ICC official Twitter account posted, India is performing just like a wow, as the current slang says. A very quick last question to Mr. Mehra. Mr. Mehra, the next hurdle is against South Africa. We heard Jonty Rhodes on this. What do you think of the next? What do you think about the next clash, Mr. Mehra?
Well, I think South Africa is not a bad side. Bad first, but I think Indian conditions are going to be different, Deepika. And this team, Indian team, is looking really, really, very strong at the moment. I think it's going to be really tough for South Africa because the momentum is with India. And as they say, the momentum is so very important in any sport you play. So I think it's going to be tough for South Africa. I again, say that India are going to be the favourites for me in that game as well. And especially Eden Gardens, there might be some help for the spinners as well. But I think India bat first or they chase. I think India are looking much better on paper, and I think they are looking a much better team than South Africa. Although South Africa have done well, but still I'll say that India is going to be the favourites in that game as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehra. Thank you so much, Taposh, for joining us and bringing us the excitement live from outside the Wankhede Stadium and bringing us the expert analysis by decoding this match. Mr. Mehra, thank you so much to both of you. Before wrapping up this show, let's quickly take a look at the points table on how India is performing. So India now comes at number 1 position with 7 matches, 7-0 performance, 14 points they have got. They are also superior on the net run rate with plus 2.102. South Africa is at number 2 position with 1 match that they have lost so far out of 7 matches played. The next match is against South Africa, scheduled to take place on the 5th of November. Let's see how India performs at that match. So far, so good. India is performing really dominatingly, not only winning, but dominating the entire Cricket World Cup stage. And with this, it's now time to wrap up this special broadcast on ICC Men's Cricket World Cup post-match report. We will be back with more matches as they unfold. Thank you so much for joining us right now.